Welcome to Boots on the Ground, the 15-minute briefing, your daily roundup on veterans housing, advocacy, and solutions. I'm Yvette Jones Swanson, Army veteran, National Veterans Housing Advocate, and CEO of Vet Mentors, LLC. For more than 20 years, I've been on the front lines, housing over 5,000 homeless veterans and pushing for real change. In just 15 minutes, we'll cover today's wins, setbacks, and opportunities, from housing solutions and government policy to partnerships, publications, and training. This isn't just a show, it's a movement. Together, we're turning challenges into victories for veterans and their families. Let's begin. Welcome to the show. Today is September 1st, it's Labor Day. I just want to thank everybody who labor for us. We labor for each other. Thank you for that. My name is Yvette Jones Swanson, and I am the National Veterans Homeless Housing Advocate and Consultant. I asked ChatGPT if there were any other professionals with that title, and she said no. I know. And also, whoever takes my course as a realtor for the realtor's blueprint, the Veterans Path to Home, navigating the journey from homelessness to home ownership, will receive a certificate in the back of the book that states you too are a VHHA, Veterans Homeless Housing Advocate. Okay. Whew. Thanks for that. I had some technical difficulties getting on here today, which I'm on a different laptop and the setting wasn't the same. I'm like, I can't go on like that because it showed something that I'm not showing anymore. But today, even though it was not Veterans Day, I think about veterans every single day that I live and breathe. Because I am one and because I know what homeless veterans are going through right now. I'm working with several homeless veterans across the country, one of which is in San Antonio, Texas. Thank you for all these cute things that's flying around over here on TikTok. And we're being recorded over here for LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube, simply because of those technical difficulties. And my sign for my business is over there. My company is called Vet Mentors, VETMENTORS. And it's so fitting because my name is Yvette. So people would say, hey, Vet. I'm like, okay. But an attorney who was on my team years ago in the early 2000s, she actually, no, I'll take that back. She helped come up with that name. She came up with that name, Vet Mentor. She said, because that's what you do, Yvette, you mentor. I'm like, you know what, you're right. I like it. It's kind of cool. It's my name and I mentor. So today, just like any other day, I received messages from homeless veterans. And this one is of a homeless veteran in San Antonio, Texas. Oh, and he told me today that he lost his job because he was hired as a correctional officer at the Alligator Alcatraz. That was the job he was taking on as a professional, in what I just said. Excuse me, I did have a stroke. Correctional officer, yes. So because he didn't have a job and that was going to be his job, that was his livelihood, to live, to pay rent, to drive a car, to live. But when he didn't get that job, he had nothing. And he's not a service-connected disabled veteran with the percentage at all. So he has no money, no job, and lost his doggone identification. So now he couldn't even get a job. Oh, it was just heart-wrenching. So I sent him a ton of resources that he was able to utilize. And he is in a transitional housing right now. However, that transitional housing has about 1,000 people, not just veterans. And they have to leave every morning at 5 a.m. unless they are volunteering to work inside the facility, cleaning it up or preparing food. And he said he works in the kitchen 3 days a week, because otherwise he's out from 5 a.m. until whatever time they can come back. That's the shelter. That's transitional housing, but it's not specifically for veterans. And that is why I wrote this book for those of you who are interested in housing veterans. Everybody keeps saying, Yvette, I want to house homeless veterans. Well, this is my new release, and it came out #1 on the U.S. military veterans history. This is going down in history, but it's already part of history because these are just various ways to house veterans in our communities. And as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, you get paid for doing that. And I give you several models step by step in this publication, and it is on Amazon. Innovative Housing Solutions, a guide to veteran shared housing living models, along with HUD VASH and SSVF. Those are permanent. Well, SSVF, that doesn't have to be permanent. So that's what we're dealing with the veteran in San Antonio, Texas. We're not taking care of our veterans properly. And hold on a second, because I did say I wanted to look at the money and look at the facility where he's staying, see if they are on this $3.2 billion list that the VA, that the government, federal government, gave these organizations to take care of veterans. So he's in Texas. I just want to see if the name of the organization where he is on this list. Not yet. I don't see it. So I don't know who's funding that organization. But in Texas, there are several organizations. Front Steps, they received over 2 million. Lutbach Regional Mental Health, um, uh, they received a little over 1.2 million. The Salvation Army over 2 million. And this is in federal funds to care for our homeless veterans and veterans who are at need. Family Endeavors, they received, oh my God, they received $14 million. Family Endeavors, San Antonio, Bexar County, Dallas City County, oh, they received $14 million. And he can't even get a real room somewhere until his application, until he can get to homeless walk-in to do an application for HUD VASH or other SSVF programs that are on that $3.8 billion list. So that's San Antonio, Texas. Then I have another veteran here in the Chicagoland area. And these are letters. These are my congressional letters to every politician that's attached to that city, that state, so that they can at least be informed that they have a real life. And that real life is a homeless veteran in their city, in their state, because maybe they don't know. Maybe they think the organizations are really doing what they say they're doing because they're receiving all that money. Nobody is doing these proper checks to see, balancing checks to see where the money is going. So I'm going to go to the GAO audit report because this money is public information. And then the audit from the federal government, it shows where the money went. I want to see where this money went because clearly it's not going for the benefit of our homeless veterans because they're still on the streets. So the letters that are going out, and these are the letters right here with my letterhead. These letters are going out to Senator Meg Lauren Chappelle. Um, and this is for Crest Hill, Illinois. Senator Laura Ellman in Aurora, Illinois. Mayor Mary Alexander Baxter, the village of Bolingbrook, Illinois. Senator Tammy Duckworth in Springfield, Illinois. Senator Richard Durbin in Chicago, his Chicago office. Congressman Bill Foster of Aurora, Illinois. Representative Janet Yang of Naperville, Illinois. And I'll tell you why these letters are going out. And these are congressional letters. And what we're asking for simply because this veteran family, I sold them a house in 2019, first time Marine family homeowner. They never purchased a home before. They were homeless and remember contacting me when they were homeless to find a house, someplace to live. And I wasn't able to accommodate them at the time, but somebody did. And that was about, I don't know how many years ago now, but I sold them a house in 2019. But they were homeless, and then they rented an apartment through Hut Vash, and then they purchased their first house outside of Hut Vash with me as their veterans realtor. I'm also an Army veteran, and I was homeless too. So that's why I go so hard for homeless veterans now, because we've got resources, and the resources that aren't being utilized, we have to force them out of these organizations because they're mishandling money and mistreating our veterans. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. So these, I was telling y'all with three problems veterans face financially. There's a one-time assistance restriction for Will County Veterans Affairs, VAC, help this family once before, but now denies further aid even as they face this crisis of no running water, no hot water, no cold water. And they have a family. Fell behind on some bills and some other stuff. Car broke, this broke, that broke. You got all this to pay, and you don't have enough money to pay everything. So you're like, okay, I can handle this now and handle that later. But then something else happens, like I can't catch a break. So now the water is off for 6 months. Okay, that's number one. Three problems veterans face financially: narrow program eligibility, national supports like SSVF, Tunnels to Tower, and Simplify and America's Fund exclude veterans without combat injuries. He never went to combat, so he doesn't qualify for anything under all the money that they receive. Geographic and income barriers, program like CETA or LIHEAP, and those are the programs that should be supporting veterans who have electrical utility issues. They exclude veterans by county lines or income thresholds, even when those veterans face life-threatening utility shutoffs. And in this case, the utility is off. Two solutions that leaders can impact, because these policies need to be changed. So my husband was asking me, what can happen with this veteran? Well, the worst scenario is they go into foreclosure. They lose their home and they become homeless and they're in their vehicles. Then they can go to homeless walk-in and apply for a HUD VASH voucher. But they cannot say they have some place to live, even if they're going to sleep on the floor or couch at somebody's house. You can't say that. You have to be chronic homeless in order to get a HUD VASH voucher, living on the street. I'm like, so this veteran is doing all he can, and he even has a full-time job. But the only breadwinner with wife and children, and it's just hard, and a house, and maintaining vehicles. Solutions leaders can implement. emergency reentry policy, which will allow veterans who have previously received support to reapply when facing essential utility loss or eviction and not wait until the loss actually happens. Universal Emergency Veteran Relief Fund, create a rapid response fund for all veterans in crises, regardless of injury status, income bracket, or county of residence. And this letter is going to all the representatives, in addition to whatever they say they support in the past. So here's the call to action. We respectfully urge you to champion reform that ensures no veteran is left without water, shelter, or dignity. Call to action for oversight. Who's looking after all this money that these organizations are receiving? We call upon your offices to strengthen oversight over the billions of federal and state dollars already allocated for veteran assistance. These funds must be tracked transparently and directed where they are needed most, reaching veterans in real time before crises deepen. Because that's what happens to our veterans. Our veteran in San Antonio, all mixed up with 1,000 other people. Just people, not even veterans in veteran care homes. It's just the total general public, and everybody has to leave at 5 a.m. And that's not fair to him, to any veteran. So I urge each and every one of you who says, I want to house homeless veterans, get the book. I give you several models in this book in order for you to be able to make an educated decision on what type of veterans housing you actually want to do. My name is Yvette Jones Swanson. I want to thank you guys for being here for this 15 minutes. I took LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube over by a couple minutes. So I apologize for that, but thank you for hanging out.
My book is now a top new release on Amazon in United States military veterans history. I'm Yvette Jones Swanson, Army veteran and wife of retired Army Master Sergeant Stephen Swanson. It's my honor to keep serving our homeless veteran community. This guide is the blueprint for housing solutions, from homeless and senior veterans to women, disabled, justice-involved, and LGBTQ+ heroes. Order today on Amazon and be part of the movement. Together, we can make sure no veteran is left behind.
Okay, and then what I'm going to do, because theirs is over, I'm going to click end.
Across America, too many of our heroes return home only to face another battle, the fight for stable housing. Veterans are overrepresented in the homeless population, often caught in a system that is complex, slow, and full of barriers. At Vet Mentors, we're changing that narrative. For over 20 years, we've been boots on the ground, not just identifying the problem, but building real solutions. That's why we created the U.S. Military Veterans Educational and Resource Guide book series, a groundbreaking collection designed to educate, equip, and empower. These guidebooks are written not only for veterans, but also for the communities, organizations, and leaders who serve them. From step-by-step housing models to funding strategies, this series gives social workers, case managers, realtors, and first responders the tools they need to act with speed, dignity, and impact. Vet Mentors believes housing is not charity. It's a mission, a responsibility, and a pathway to restoring honor. Every guidebook in this series is a resource designed to make sure no veteran is left behind, and no community has to say, "We didn't know how to help." This is how we turn challenges into victories. I'm Yvette Jones Swanson, Army veteran, CEO of Vet Mentors LLC, and I invite you to join us in rewriting the story for America's veterans.